Today's video is going to start with a challenge. I want you to look around the room you're sitting in right now. Seriously. Pause for a second and count. How many screens can you see? Your phone, your TV, your laptop, your smartwatch, maybe even the display on your microwave. Count them. Got your number? Good. Now imagine every single one disappears. Not tomorrow, not next year. Right now. The screen you're watching this video on? Gone. Every screen on Earth disappears at exactly the same moment. No warning. No explanation. No replacement. Just gone. How long do you think it would take before your life started falling apart? 1 week? 1 day? 1 hour? Most people would probably say it would be annoying. But that's all. Would it? Let's find out. Because today, we're going to experience the first year in a world without screens. Welcome to Root Cause. Meet Alex. He's 27 years old, a normal apartment, a normal life. The first thing he does every morning is reach for his phone, before he even gets out of bed. But today, no phone, no smartwatch, no tablet, no laptop. Gone. At first, Alex thinks it's some kind of joke, maybe a weird prank, maybe a dream. Then he walks into his living room. No television. Outside, things get stranger. People are standing in the streets, looking confused. Because the impossible has happened. Every screen on Earth has vanished, and nobody understands why. Something fascinating happens next. People don't panic immediately. They laugh. Some people actually celebrate. No emails, no notifications, no social media, no endless scrolling. For a brief moment, it feels almost relaxing. But then reality arrives, and reality arrives fast. Now, let's zoom out. Far beyond Alex, far beyond his city, far beyond his country. Let's look at the entire planet. Because something strange has happened. The internet still exists. The cables beneath the ocean still exist. The satellites above Earth still exist. The servers still exist. Google still exists. YouTube still exists. Netflix still exists. Instagram still exists. Everything is still there. But nobody can see any of it. Imagine the world's largest library. Every book is still on the shelf. Every page still exists. But every light has gone out. That's what humanity is facing. Back in his apartment, Alex decides to check his bank account. Except he can't. Everything he uses to access his money has disappeared. But a question suddenly appears. If your money exists, but you can't see it, can't access it, can't transfer it, do you really have it? And that's where our story truly begins. Because screens were never just for entertainment. They were the windows through which civilization operated. And now, every window has been bricked over. In the next chapter, Alex is about to discover something terrifying. The world hasn't lost its money. It's lost access to it. It's been 6 hours since the screens disappeared. The confusion is turning into fear. Alex decides to do what millions of people are doing. Get cash, just in case. He walks to the nearest ATM. There's already a line stretching around the block. But the ATM has no screen. It's just a metal box. Useless. And suddenly, everyone realizes the same thing. The problem isn't that money disappeared. The problem is that nobody can reach it. Most people think money is paper, dollar bills, coins, physical cash. But here's something strange. If you gathered all the cash in the world together, it would represent only a tiny fraction of global wealth. Most of it exists only because a computer somewhere says it exists. Alex has $14,000 in savings. Yesterday, that number made him feel secure. Today, it means nothing. Alex can't access it, can't transfer it, can't verify it, can't use it. Now, imagine you're one of the richest people on Earth. Yesterday, you were powerful. Today, not so much. Stock market trading platforms, online banking, digital payments, crypto exchanges can't function. Still there, but unreachable. For the first time in modern history, a billionaire and an ordinary person face the same problem. Neither can access their money. Nobody knows what anything is worth anymore. And that's dangerous, because modern economies run on confidence. The moment confidence disappears, panic arrives. Millions of people wake up unemployed. Not because of war, not because of a pandemic, because screens disappeared. Now imagine you're a creator. Yesterday, you had 10 million subscribers. Today, you have 0 viewers. Not because people stopped watching. Every Mr. Beast video, every podcast, every tutorial, every documentary, every educational channel still exists, locked away inside data centers, like ancient treasure buried beneath the ocean. Humanity can see none of it. For years, people called YouTube a website. But YouTube was never just a website. It was an economy. Editors, writers, animators, thumbnail designers, advertisers, sponsors, musicians, voice actors. Entire careers existed because of one thing: screens. Then comes entertainment. Netflix, Disney, Prime Video, every streaming platform on Earth. Gone. For the first time in over a century, humanity loses cinema. And suddenly something strange happens. People begin gathering in theaters again, not to watch movies, to watch live performances. Stories survive, but screens don't. 3 days later, another crisis appears: navigation. Alex needs medicine for his grandmother. Normally, he would simply open Google Maps, type the address, follow directions. Simple. Except Google Maps is gone. Not because satellites disappeared. The satellites are still orbiting Earth. The GPS system still works, but nobody can see it. Food shipments arrive late. Medicine shipments disappear entirely. One missing screen creates thousands of invisible problems. Problems nobody noticed until now. And then the situation becomes deadly. Hospitals. Modern hospitals aren't just buildings. They're ecosystems of information. Heart monitors, MRI scans, X-ray. Now imagine all of it disappearing. For the first time, lives begin depending on humanity's ability to function without screens. Air traffic controllers rely on screens, the way sailors once relied on stars. Remove them, and the sky becomes dangerous. Flights are grounded worldwide. Travel slows dramatically. The planet begins shrinking again. Not physically, economically. The world becomes larger because moving through it becomes harder. In Wall-E, humans became so dependent on screens, they barely interacted with reality. People laughed. In Ready Player One, entire lives existed inside digital worlds. People called it fantasy. In The Matrix, humanity couldn't distinguish reality from technology. People called it science fiction. But the big question. 1 week later, humanity faces a question nobody expected. What exactly was the screen? Was it entertainment? A business tool? A communication device? A source of knowledge? A source of addiction? A gateway to opportunity? Or was it all of those things at once? Because the more humanity loses, the more it realizes something uncomfortable. The screen was never the product. The screen was the doorway. And now that doorway is gone. But what happens if we go one step further? What if screens had never existed at all? What would civilization look like? Would humanity be happier? Or would it be trapped in a slower, smaller world? To answer that, we need to visit another Earth. 1 month has passed. Alex's world is still struggling. But every day, Alex asks himself the same question. Could humanity have avoided all of this? And that question leads us somewhere strange. Very strange. Imagine 2 Earths, identical in every way. Same oceans, same mountains, same history, same people, but with one difference. On one Earth, screens were invented. On the other, they never existed. Let's visit the second Earth. The year is 2026. You wake up. No phone. No television. No nothing. Not because they disappeared. Because nobody ever invented them. And at first, it sounds amazing. Children play outside. Families spend more time together. People aren't staring at phones. Nobody is scrolling. Nobody is arguing online. Nobody is chasing likes. It sounds peaceful. Almost perfect. Until you notice what else is missing. A teenager wants to learn physics, but the best teacher lives 5,000 kilometers away. Too bad. Knowledge still travels, but slowly. And in civilization, speed changes everything. Now, let's talk about money, because this Earth is missing something else. Entire industries. No Google, no YouTube, no Netflix, no Amazon, no Instagram, no TikTok, no Apple, no Microsoft, no Nvidia. Some of the richest companies in history are never born. Some of the biggest fortunes never exist. Trillions of dollars are never created. Now let's return to Alex. 1 year after the disappearance, his world survived. Barely. People adapted. Libraries became crowded. Radio became popular again. Communities became stronger. Children spent more time outdoors. People learned to remember phone numbers again, to navigate without maps, to talk without notifications, interrupting every conversation. And yet, something still feels missing. One evening, Alex sits under the night sky, and that's when he realizes something. The screen wasn't his enemy. The screen wasn't his friend. It was a tool, a powerful tool, and humanity had forgotten the difference. Maybe a world without screens wouldn't be humanity's greatest disaster. Maybe the real disaster is that we've built a civilization that can't imagine life without them. Think about it. Rome depended on roads. Factories depended on coal. Modern civilization depends on electricity. And our generation depends on screens. Not because we're weak, because every civilization builds itself around its greatest invention. So here's one last question. Not for Alex, for you. If every screen on Earth disappeared tomorrow, what would you miss first? Your phone? Your favorite app? Your money? Your job? Or the people on the other side of the screen? Because the answer reveals something important. It reveals what screens really are. Not gadgets, not distractions, not luxury items. They're bridges. Bridges connecting people, knowledge, and opportunity across the planet. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Because every system has a story, and every story has a root cause.